The moment I hit go live, child, I done sneezed to death. Bless me, okay? Thank you for being here. Hi, everybody. I know it's been a month of Sundays, honey. A month of Sundays since your girl been live. Welcome to my channel, you all. I am D. Ramsey. Oh, here comes. Pardon. Or like my husband always says, they come in threes with me. So there might be another sneeze coming. Give it a minute. Uno momento. Okay, I think it's good. Hallelujah. Wow. Okay. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a month or two since I've been live. I know. Whatever. Let's get caught up. So, welcome to my channel. I'm D. Ramsey, aka I used to call myself Lotus Flower. It's still apropos because I got it out the mud, honey. I got it out the mud. Hey, McBaby Green, how you doing, baby? Listen, y'all, let's get caught up, okay? Here's a couple of things. That we need to get caught up on. First of all, let me show you. I have been taking a sewing class. Okay. And this was our first project, which was and is a zipper pouch, which has a lining. Okay. I completed it today. I'm so proud of this. I'm like, yay. I'm so proud. I feel amazing having completed this. I really got emotional too. And one of the things that made me emotional is realizing, and I posted this in my on my Patreon. Bless my patrons, people for hanging in there with me. But it's hard sometimes for me to learn. I'm very smart, but I have had a bunch of childhood trauma. You all know I grew up in foster care, and also I've had a bunch of sexual trauma, and that gave me like a PTSD, and all the block letters. I got them, okay. Okay, and not that I got them and I claim them, but they have affected the way my brain works. And a lot of times I get really overwhelmed and I feel like I'm going to fail. And so then I won't attempt it. And so it scares me. And then I get full of so much fear. Hey, Queen Vita. That's right. That's my friend, honey. And so the fact that I completed this task, this purse, this little coin doodad, all on my own. We had instructors, but I'm so proud. This was the material that I bought. The blue is bees and the yellow is bees to make curtains for my girls' layer boxes. My chickens, what are them things called? The box where they lay their eggs in. But I couldn't complete it because I didn't even know what to do. Again, getting overwhelmed. And then I feel like a failure even before I begin. And then I just will tear myself down. And that's kind of what happens. So, and like I said to my patrons, it even happens when it comes to creating content. Because then I'm like, nobody wants to hear what I got to say. And so then I won't do it, and it's hard because a lot of people think that I'm just so confident. And I am. I'm a very confident human. But I feel really less confident when I need to learn something new. And especially when people have a starting point that I know I don't have a starting point at, if that makes sense. Like, and it's not like it's an excuse or anything, but when people haven't shown you things and you have to learn them, like, it's hard to explain that as a kid, you just didn't know some stuff. And then like everything you knew, you found out on your own. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. Oh, anyway. So I'm very proud. I'm very proud of this little thing. Okay. And then the bigger project is an apron, and I've already pinned it. So next week I'm gonna cut it, and then I'm gonna have another week to sew it. So we're gonna see if I can get that apron done in the last 2 weeks. If not, they do have a sewing lab where you can just go and do it there because I don't have a sewing machine. But yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, look at me doing my little thing. I'm so trying, and I'm very proud. Thank you. I'm very proud of this. So yeah, that happened. Okay, now let me tell you what else happened, y'all. Okay, so I had posted in my Patreon. I was like, y'all, I've gained 30 pounds and I'm getting, chubby. And I'm like, what's going on? I realized that, I'm driving around, I'm going to work, but I was like, I'm not eating that much differently, but I have been. So I'm going to tell you the truth. I've been eating a lot of bread and nonsense. But even still, when I was like, when I like took a week to like re-regulate myself, I noticed that my weight didn't go down. It actually went up by 3 pounds. I was like, now wait a minute, what the heck is going on, right? Something said, Google how many sunflower seeds you supposed to be eating in a day. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. It said a quarter of a cup. It said a quarter of a cup. Hold on a minute. I said, wait a minute now. Because one of the other things I've been doing is I've been baking. I've been baking, girl. Honey, I done made some coconut and nut chocolate brownies from scratch. Shut your mouth. Do you hear me? I love an almond joy candy bar, baby. So you don't even understand. So my point, and I need to make me some hummus tonight. So got my garbanzo beans out here, y'all know, and I've been making my dressing. So I know what a quarter cup is. My point. I said a quarter cup. A quarter cup. That's like 16 ounces. That's a whole pound. So I got to dig and I said, why a quarter cup? It said because of the density of sunflower seeds. What is the byproduct of that? They said weight gain. I said, I know you lying. I know y'all lying. Do you know? I was going through a bag of these a day. If I didn't get through the whole bag, I would get through quite a bit of them. And then when I get home, I sit in my bed with my big thing of cold water and my hallelujah scriptures and my amplified Bible. Hallelujah scriptures is another Bible, but it has the real names of Yahuwah in there and Yahushua. Do you hear me? When I tell you, I was like, no. I had just stopped at Wally World that same day and bought two. And I buy the regular and the reduced sodium. Do you know? And they were sitting right up here on that refrigerator. Do you know? I grabbed them 2 bags because I had already opened this one, or I was about to. I grabbed them 2 unopened bags and that receipt, and I took them bags right on back up there to Walmart so fast. I said, oh, the devil is a liar. Now, these 30, I ain't mad. I'm a little mad, but it's okay. I'm going to get them off. But I ain't going to get them off if I'm sucking down a pound of sunflower seeds. I cracked up so hard, I could not believe it. I told the lady, I said, did you know sunflower seeds make you fat? She said, no, girl, I love sunflower seeds. And she was a big woman too. I said, I'm this days old when I realized. I said, oh, okay. So absolutely not. If you are eating sunflower seeds and trying to lose weight, and see what threw me off was when I returned home from Mexico. Remember, now I was not eating these in Mexico. Remember? I mean, you wouldn't know that, but one, they don't sell them like this. So I wasn't eating sunflower seeds like this in Mexico. But upon my return is when I started back on my sunflower seeds. Remember, I went on my cross country journey. I was only eating the fruits and, my refillable water and my sunflower seeds. Again, it was still summertime. I was doing a lot more moving, and also my body, I got the hickey up and my giddy up, honey. So that's been since I was in the Corps. So it's just what it is. My pain level just be what it is. It just be in pain. But my motto is I'm in pain anyway. So it's irregardless. If the word is regardless, but anyway, of whether or not I walk or not, I'm gonna be in pain. So generally, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the walking. Do you know it did not matter? So I didn't realize until I got situated and settled and was doing the eating. And I said, sunflower seeds have made me fat, girl. So this is the last of the sunflower seeds for me. And I'm quite all right with it. Quite all right. Because I still eat nuts. Y'all, I still eat nuts. I still have my prunes and my Brazil nuts. Oh my goodness. Matter of fact, I was out of walnuts. So my first batch of brownies I made with walnuts and coconut. And because my god babies, when they came down here from Chicago, they had made a German chocolate cake. So they had left some organic cocoa and some, what you call that? Coconut shreds, right? So I was like, well, what can I make this with? And on the back of the cocoa was a recipe for brownies. I never made brownies from scratch, and it said, get the brownies and the butter and the sugar and the flour and the salt. And I was like, and 2 eggs. I was like, I could do that. I put all the ingredients out. I chopped, I put my walnuts in there and that coconut, and they was delicious. They was delicious. But check this out. Let me tell you what was even more delicious. I went to go do the same thing again. I got all the ingredients out and realized I had set up and ate all the raisins and the walnuts, which is the two things I love together. But my other thing I love together is my prunes and my Brazil nuts, right? I put them in a bowl like this together. Y'all know I put like 8 or 9, maybe 10 prunes in a bag in my little thing, and I'll eat them with my Brazil nuts. So I had about maybe 4, 5, maybe 6 Brazil nuts left. I cut them up and put that in there instead of the walnuts. Dare I say, it was so good. Let me tell you, it was so good. Oh, the pan's over there. I had to cut the last quarter up and give them away. They were so good. I said, D, you gonna sit up and eat these? Sitting up here complaining about these sunflower seeds, and you about to bust these brownies in the head. I was like, nope, I love my people. Let me get these to my neighbors, see how they like them. I was like, I got to get out of here. So I went ahead and I had to go ahead and get rid of them brownies. But the Brazil nuts was even better than the walnuts. I got to tell you that. So if you're going to make some brownies from scratch, baby, and if you like almond joy, I love coconut. Okay, I love coconut. So that was right up my alley. Oh, it was so good. Okay. So yeah, sunflower seeds have made me fat. And I am preparing for the holy days. So, as you know, I now absolutely 100% read the scriptures. I never really read the scriptures at all like I do now. At all. And I certainly didn't have an understanding of it. I do now. And so I get what the Most High says to keep the feast dates and to keep the Sabbath. So I keep the Sabbath. I love this keeping the Sabbath. I can't even explain how amazing it is to keep the Sabbath. The reason you all who do go to church on Sunday is because of the Romans. The Romans. We've been conquered, baby. We still under Roman rule. But that was the way for them to mix there and get all the people. Constantine just wanted the people to agree. And he said, these people over here believe this. And then we got the pagans over here. So to get everybody to, he made Christianity terrible, terrible. All the religions are terrible, but that's just whew. He made Christianity. That doesn't mean I don't believe in the Messiah. I do, but that's not a religion. He mixed Invictus, the Sunday, the worship of the sun, Apollo, and all of them, the day of worship, and wiped out the Sabbath. So because they wanted to separate the real deal from the fake. So I don't do that anymore. And y'all know me. I've been on my path for many years. So I keep the Sabbath, and this is going to be my first year keeping the feasts. And some people used, let me see, this one lady, her name is Yaz Chosen. I've been watching her. Her and her husband, according to the Enoch calendar, what's today? The 27th, yes. Last night at sundown for them would have been Passover. And today for them is going to be the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is 7 days. For me, I'm going to follow Truth Unedited, who's going to use the, what is it called, a Kadak calendar, and do Passover on the 1st. That works out perfect for me. And then that's going to lead to the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is the next day after Passover and the 7 days of unleavened bread. So I've got to prepare for that. And the way I'm going to do it, first of all, I had to Google. Well, I understood what leaven, first of all, I understood leaven was like yeast, but what else, right? Like, what do I need to get rid of for unleavened bread? It's any crackers, any bread. I'm about to make some fried eggs and sourdough bread. I only got the little, I was counting it up. I was like 27, this is 27, 28, 29, 30. So this will be gone by the time it's time to get all the leaven out of the house. And the first day of Passover, if you know anything about the Bible, they call it the Last Supper. The Last Supper is just, they call it the Last Supper because it was Passover. Yahusha and his disciples, the people called Jesus, was celebrating the Passover. He clearly is celebrating. He even says it, he tells everybody what to do and tells Peter what to go out and get. He said, I'm having the Passover, and that's a feast meal. For me, it works out perfectly because, if I'm not mistaken, I know that that's on a Tuesday. Let me tell you right now. I think it's Tuesday. And my husband's going to be home that day. So that even works out even better because, boom, here we go. Let me look. Let me tell you. Yup. Oh, that's so good. That's a perfect day. That means, because that's a feast day. The first day, Passover is a feast day. The first day of unleavened bread is a holy convocation. That's a feast day. And then the 7th day after that. So I'm excited because you're supposed to cook up. You cook up like you all would cook up for that other holiday that you all should not be celebrating, because Passover is the celebration of the resurrection, the death, the Passover, all of that. Again, that Easter, which I still haven't done my live on, I need to go ahead and do that. I might do it tomorrow. Is a terrible day. When I tell you the history of Easter, y'all will not do that ever again. I'm telling you, it's very bad. We're in the upside down. Satan is real, and he's done everything he can to make sure that people do the opposite of what the Most High wants us to do, which is, if you've been here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and we don't even know how many years prior to Adam and Eve, how long he was even here. So, and the Bible says what? He's more cunning than us. And he did what? He deceived the whole world. I always say, that's some kind of arrogance for you not to think you part of the whole world and you can't be deceived. Child, please. So, I am getting ready for the feast, and I'm super excited about that. And I want to say this about somebody who has become one of my favorite people, which is Miss Candace Owens. Do y'all know who Candace Owens is? The only thing I knew about Candace Owens was that she was a brown girl. She was a conservative, and everybody in our community called her a sellout. Right? If there was an Uncle Tom, she was Auntie Tom. Oh, that make my back hurt. My back hurt. If there was an Uncle Tom baby, she was Auntie Tomette, okay? But I never paid her any attention. And as you know, I unplugged from so many things so long ago that it had to be the Most High that kept me from being up on a mountain right now, just separated from everybody, okay? But I will say this. When I look at the mainstream media and what we think we know, it's amazing how many quote unquote black people have been brainwashed into supporting the Democratic Party. Y'all know I'm not into politics. So this is what had happened. Candace Owens showed up on my YouTube, and she had this series with these two faces put together, girl. And it was like a little boy and this woman. I couldn't figure out. And I was like, girl, what is this, Mary? What is this, Candace? I don't get it. But she was doing this series called Becoming Brigitte. If you have not watched this, please go watch it. It is compelling, mind-blowing. And if you know anything about the way this world is really run in terms of all the true conspiracies, it ain't no theories. These are facts. You're going to be fascinated. So Becoming Brigitte is all about the French president, Emmanuel Macron, who was groomed by a dude impersonating a woman who is now, quote unquote, his wife. Crazy story, who got him when he was, I think, 14 years old. And this man would have been about 45 years old. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. So, okay. So that's what got me hooked, right? I started watching this Becoming Brigitte series, and I was like, girl, I know you lying. I don't even know these people. I'm not in the I don't do this. I'm unplugged. I'm unplugged, okay? But I went back because I was like so enthralled by the series. And then she also is, and I've been cracking up on the one she's doing on the lawsuit with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. That one is a hoot and a holler as well. But I went back because she also did this Exposing Kamala Harris series, right? Do y'all know Kamala was impersonating a black person? Do you know she lied about who her grandmama is? Do y'all know that that woman is not black? Not black. And she's not even that smart. And I was so disturbed when I realized how many black people were defending this fraud of a person. I was like, what the hell? What's up, Cap? Kamala Harris is a Hindu and an Irish person who is the descendant of slave owners. Do you hear me? Her people are staunch communists. Not hyperbole, not a conspiracy theorist. And that's the thing I do like about Candace Owens. And see, I'm an intellectual brain too. You got to give me all the stuff. Don't just tell me nothing. Give me the books. Give me the original source. I'll go source it out. I can figure it out on my own. I don't need you to think for me. That's why I'm plugged. Y'all know that. But it's crazy that the quote unquote mainstream media wasn't picking up that they were pushing this woman and then corralling all these Negro famous people who ain't nothing but agents of destruction as well to promote her. Kamala Harris is not black. And it was because, and when you go back, go watch Candace Owens. I'm telling you, don't take my word for it. When I tell you, she is incredibly thorough in the research that she does. I'm talking about family trees, lineage, beyond the mothers, the grandmothers, the fathers, and the hoax that this woman put in her book. She put a photoshopped a picture of a black woman who was actually the help. She tried to blackify herself. I said, Candace. And Candace is hilarious because she was showing this. She shows these videos, these clips. And again, it's a hoot and a holler to me because I don't follow this. I'm not in a I am unplugged. I'm on my homestead and I don't know what's going on. I do my best not to know what's going on. I'm with my chickens. And I don't care, okay? We are not in a republic anymore. And it's because I started to really research the foundation of this country and the foundation of the world itself. It's not even just this country. I started to research what really happened. I started to go deep down the rabbit hole, past ancient Egyptian to the Freemasons. And it was like, OMG, I tell people, you keep going far enough, you're going to find Satan. A lot of black people, when they come out of these religions, they get stuck on the alien thing. I'm like, these are not aliens. They're fallen angels. They're fallen angels. And for people to think that evil is not real and it's just something that's in you. And, you know, I've got this beautiful young lady I is helping with. She's got a beautiful platform teaching about how to regain your sovereignty as a private person, as a private being, not even person. Something I've known for a while, something I've been investing hundreds of dollars in, not always getting the right information. It's a path you got to go be led on, but it's been working for me. You know, a lot of people ask, how did I quit my job and just, you know, opt out of the system? Well, that's one of the ways. Was even before I knew everything that I was doing, I really feel like the Most High was like, stop what you're doing. Stop working this job. I don't care what they're paying you. I don't care. But you're going to work yourself literally to death for pieces of paper that mean nothing. You have unlimited access to wealth. Right? It doesn't mean that I didn't struggle in the beginning of this process, because I think that's a part of it as well. My point in all this little bit of a babble and side quest I'm going on is that if I were still plugged in to the matrix as a quote unquote black person, I would have been continuously programmed to dismiss and not care for someone like a Candace Owens. And I would have been inundated with the media trying to tell me that Kamala Harris is black has anything to do with the black experience, just like they got us with Barack goddamn Hussein Obama, another turncoat. These people have nothing to do with us at all. Nothing to do with our experience. They have co-opted what is our real experience of captivity, and they play these mind games with us. And it's incredible, and it's so disingenuous, and it makes me sad when I talk to quote unquote black women and to know that over 92% of them voted, and that the overwhelming black people vote Democrat. It's called, they're demon craps. Now again, red bird, blue bird, they both part of the same chicken. That is what the Freemasons. There's a red lodge and a blue lodge. That's what they do, honey. They it's all nonsense. All the world's a stage and everybody's an actor, okay? Everybody's a moving star. Everybody's a star. But my point is, in this particular past election, there's no way that you all should have been fooled by Kamala Harris. That woman couldn't even have a cogent intellectual conversation to tell what her real plans were, what her points were. The clips I saw, I thought she was high. I said, she must be on pills. That she is on pills, or she slept her way to whatever bit of political bona fides that she had. She is the antithesis of every hardworking black woman who did everything they had to do, double and triple around every mediocre white boy they ever had to damn be subordinate to. That is not Kamala's story. She comes from wealthy, 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 wealthy people. Lived in Canada all her life, in California. What? I was outdone. So black people do better. But you got to get into Candace Owens. You hear me? Candace Owens was like, she showed a clip of Kamala. Kamala would change her address, her accent for whoever she was talking to. Yeah, the brothers and sisters. And Candace was like, brothers and sisters. I was cracking up because I was offended as well. Like, as a bona fide black woman who had to work her way up. I was a foster kid. The fact that I made it all the way to corporate America and I was getting paid just as much as mediocre white men in the high six figures was such an accomplishment for me. I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it just trips me out that the political system as a whole, which is a completely broken system, has quote unquote black people in such a chokehold when it comes to these parties, and actually have us voting against our own self-interest because we think that these people are giving us something. Democrats are the worst. The worst. They've been the worst. They really have. But you won't know that if you listen to the political party pundits, should I say. And if you don't know that all of your media are bought and paid for by the alphabet boys, bought and paid for, and have been. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, we ought not be voting at all. We're born in captivity. We have been born in captivity. We ought not be voting at all. We ought not be participating in these systems, right? And then because we're in this mindset of that these people need to give you something. They don't need to give you nothing. You have everything you need. We need to read more. We need to teach our children how to read. We need to teach them the real story and of the past, as much of it as we can glean, and stop looking to these institutions to quote unquote educate your children. It has always baffled my mind when people tell me what their children don't know, and I just be looking at them. And I can see it as an almost 57-year-old with a child who's about to be 30 years old, that people are not teaching their children much of anything. Not all, but most that I see, they've given them phones and tablets. And I'm like, are y'all gonna sit down with a pen and a paper at the table? Yeah, you gonna read to the child? You gonna show them the parts of a sentence? Are you writing their name? And like, at 4 years old, your child should know how to write their entire name. They should know basic math. They should know things at 4. You don't send them to kindergarten not knowing anything. You understand what I'm saying? And it's this acquiescence of self-agency that we do as a people that is insane. It's really sad, and we ought not do that. So, there it is. I'm off my soapbox now. But yeah, shout out to Candace Owens. When I tell you, I now can't, I done subscribe, child. I got my notification bell on. When Sister Girl go live, I'll be right there with her, okay? And I pray for her. I pray for her because I feel like the Most High is waking up his children in such a powerful way that each one of us are getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it. And we are leading the rest of our minds out of captivity. I don't have to agree with everything that my brother and sister has going on, but I know when I can hear the voice of God in them. I can hear it. I can hear it. The young lady who's helping with the sovereignty, divine goddess, she's on here as well. Again, totally led to her. And like I said, I've been attempting and have been successful on some level with discharging debts and court cases and all kind of wonderful things, regaining my private life. But again, back to the learning thing, right? I heard her say that the way she had set up her website were for people sometimes that might have a learning disability. And I went, hmm, I got a little bit of a learning disability. And so I went ahead and I signed up for one of her classes. And I had like a little bit of a hiccup and I emailed. And do you know I got a response back? You know what I mean? The group she has is really just what my point is. We don't need this government to help us. We are the people. We are the power. We are the people. We are the power. All the peoples. We the people. The enormity and the bigness of government is the problem. The fact that we have acquiesced and given away all of our power and let them rob us blind, lie to us, and we let these oligarchs who are infinitely wealthy put us into an immense amount of debt as a country, as a nation, and then put it back on us. Now, the wild thing is, there's a way for us to make our way out, a way that they have always known. But you have to wake up to it. And then you have to be able to read. You have to be able to comprehend to get yourself out of it, out of the slave debt. And that's why the Spirit of the Holy Spirit was telling me to quit my job, to stop working. It was crazy. It makes perfect sense now, but I remember it then. I felt like I was a little bit going crazy. Who walks away from making that much money for doing really nothing? I mean, I had to do stuff, but I had a cushy job. If you all been here with me, you might not even know how cushy my job is. I've had, what year is this? 20. I've driven and I've gone through what, 7 or 8 F-150s in the last 6 or 7, 10 years now, 15 years, whatever. Car, it makes no sense. The amount of money I made, amount of money I wasted. Okay. Yeah, I just heard very clearly, but it was intense. You know what I mean? And I knew it was coming. It was like a beautiful rumbling. It was like, oh, you're leaving here. You're leaving here. You just have to get it together. And I did. And let me tell you, let me show you this. Let me show you this. Look. You know what? I'm gonna show you these because I'm more prouder than these than I am of the other ones. Yeah, let me see. Looky. These is the zucchini this year. Okay? This is what I was told to do. Stop that other nonsense. Look at them babies coming up. Them watermelon. Nope, that's cantaloupe. These are the watermelon babies down here. And those are the spaghetti squashes down there. Okay? That's what I was told to do. Oh, there is romaine lettuce. Now, I bought those. I didn't grow that myself. This is ginger. I watched Homestead Heart today, and she did a beautiful thing on how to plant those. Those are the sweet potatoes that are going to give me my slips. Okay? Y'all remember them sweet potato slips last year? Hola. Let me show you this one here. Okay. Don't you fall. Them is the tomatoes. Now, I wasn't 100% successful on everything. Let's see. Only a couple of the kales came up. That's cauliflower right there. Tomatoes. Let's see. This is eggplant. Look at that. That eggplant is cut it up. And more tomatoes. Some bell peppers, some kale, some collard. What are you? Broccoli, and these are peppers. My point in all that is, and y'all know my eggs. Y'all know my girls. Y'all know my girls. My girls. Y'all know my girls. My boos. My girls. So I have a whole rotation. See how it says first box, the oldest, and eat from here first. And it says each second. Start from here. So this is what I knew I was going to be doing. These are my eggs from my chickens. And somebody said, oh, them is a lot of eggs, baby. I go through them. I boil eggs. I make eggs. I feed my chickens eggs. I take eggs of my neighbor, right? Like, this is what I knew to do. And I had no knowledge of how to do any of it. None. No, I used to kill house plants. You hear me? Oh, I know I don't have to refrigerate fresh eggs, and I used to leave my eggs out, but they stay longer. I can keep them longer because I do keep them for a while. So I used to keep them out, but I started to leave them on in there 0. But thank you, boo. I sure did. I used to keep them out for a long while, but now I'm like, I keep them for so long now. They do keep longer, but I don't wash them. That's the key, is I don't wash them. But I didn't know how to do any of this. I didn't know how to do. I still don't have houseplants. Why? Because they die on my watch. They do. My point is, when I heard the Spirit of the Most High say, this life is so much more than working a job, but you're not going to know that if you don't just step out, leap on faith. Just do it. It's okay. And all I know is I just was destined to do it. And when I do think about my childhood as being a foster child, it's times like this that I'm grateful, because that kind of a childhood gave me so much bravery and confidence in other things. Whereas I lack a lot of confidence in my ability to having to learn new stuff and things like that. However, the thing about being a foster child from the age of 8 until I emancipated out at 17 is I was used to a lot of change. I'm used to change. I'm used to moving around a lot. I'm used to instability. And there's something about being on the absolute bottom of society, that lower economic strata where people think you are nothing, right? If you had to grow up on welfare. I grew up on welfare in the 70s. I remember when we had food stamp coins. Okay? Food stamp coins. Okay? Absolutely, we had the book with all the color denominations, the orange ones and the purple ones and the green ones and the beige ones. Okay? They got cards now where you can't even tell. No, And coming from that lower economic strata where people have no confidence in your ability to be great, there's a lack of fear in me about being down that low. There's something in me that knows there's nothing lower than that. I can always go up. You know the saying, there's nowhere to go but up from here. That's so real. That is so real. Like, I went from making almost, $250,000 a year to nothing. To making nothing. You understand? And it was lovely. I'm not gonna lie. It was so good. It's still great. It's one of the best decisions I could have ever made in my life. I am so much more at peace living on my 2 little acres in my little manufactured home. I don't even know if my house is 1,400 square feet. Matter of fact, We're always joking about how I gotta get rid of even more stuff. I'd be like, I don't have room for this. I don't, it's amazing. My point in all that is this world, this life that we've been given is a gift. And we have to know that we have been created to be great. And politics is a life sucker. It will suck the life out of you. It really will. Depending on the government to be your God, to be your aid, to be your source of food, your source of electricity and water, everything, medicine, is that's not the way you were created, right? And as Black folks, we really got to re-examine our relationship with government and get off the tit, y'all. Get off the tit. We've gone completely downhill by letting other people do everything for us, i.e. educating our children. That's the worst system you can do, is put them in that system. If I knew then what I know now, I would have never put my children in school. And I'm married to the kind of man that 100% would have not gave me no problem about homeschooling my children. That's one thing I can say about my husband. I can say a lot of good things about my husband. I know I have given him hell over the years. But that's one thing, that man, whatever it was I wanted to do, he was going to be like, okay, right? I would have never put my children in public school. I would have never immunized them. I would have stood on every form of, I would have just taken back my sovereign rights. But the fact is, we don't know that we have them, because we've been born in captivity and our parents didn't know. And then the brainwashing, right? The television, the phones, the movies, the TV shows, everything reinforcing our slave life over. It's insanity, the things that we've put ourselves under, the hypnosis. And I give thanks and praise to the Most High every day for telling me to separate. Even before I started following the laws of the Torah, I knew to stop watching television, stop listening to that music, unplug from the world, get out of the cities, get away from people, stop being so influenced. Come from under the influence. I had to come from under the influence of alcohol. I had to come from under the influence of marijuana. Baby, now I need to come from under the influence of sunflower seeds. Okay? And I'm gonna let go of coffee. I'm gonna let go of coffee. That's a hard one. I did it for the Daniel fast, but I'm gonna let go of it, because I noticed patterns, and I noticed that even though I drink it with honey, and even though I drink it with unsweetened almond milk that doesn't have the guar gum and only got 3, blah blah, it kind of leads to other things, and I'm like, all right, you trying to get me off this coffee, right? Because it's the three flowers, the 3 weeds, tobacco, the coffee leaf, and the marijuana leaf. Again, it's the fallen angels that gave man. Those are high technologies, pharmakeia. And those are things that people are incredibly addicted to: tobacco, caffeine, and marijuana. When you get more into the scriptures and you know what was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what is that tree? What is the constant temptation from Satan to humanity? Is, I'm going to give you something, and all you got to do is give me something. Give me a vehicle. Give me your body that I can act through. Okay, that's what real sin is. And this world teaches us how to be lawless, how to literally live like we created ourselves and we only are beholden to ourselves. And if it feels good to me, then I should be able to do it. And you absolutely can. And everything in your life is going to judge you. Everything in your life will judge you for what it is that you're doing. If you overeat, Something when you gonna judge you, right? When you are a whoring. Shout out to the Most High. When I tell you, he and every time I read a whoring, I be like, ooh, not a whoring. Fornicating, worshiping other gods, making other things money. That why does that paper say in God we trust? What God are they talking about? What is that eye? What is the capstone on the pyramid, right? If you really ask yourself these questions and be like, oh, well, I know what that is, but do you know what that is? And are you following this world system? Do you already have the mark of the beast, right? When I realized I had marked myself, I eat tattoos. I got a whole serpent on my arm. Like insanity. Why? Mind control. Mind control. There was a time when black people we never got tattoos. The world as a whole was not getting tattoos. You had to be, you was in a biker gang, in prison, a prostitute or something like that, a low-level person to have tattoos. When did we start tattooing ourselves? Right? It's a program. It's a program. I tattooed myself when my son tattooed himself. And then my daughter got a tattoo. And I was like, oh, I want a tattoo. Right? It's a blood covenant. You're bleeding and you're doing something. We ought not do it. And I apologize to my body before I ever knew it was in the scriptures that we ought not tattoo ourselves. My point in all of my little rant here today is that we have been created to be creative, right? Me being able to come from nothing and not know anything. I haven't taken a sewing class but once, and that was in the 10th grade in home economics, baby. That was 1984. Okay? And be able to accomplish something, okay, is fantastic. Being able to take my health and what I eat seriously, and me being able to recognize, wait a minute, I'm gaining weight awfully fast and I'm not eating that drastically different. What's going on? Sunflower seeds, right? Being able to say, oh, let me kick that to the curb. Let me make a change. Let me do something different. Okay? The ability to walk away from an incredibly stressful job while it was a it was highly stressful. If you all didn't know, I was a finance manager of a car dealership. So I was lots of hours, very stressed. My body was feeling like I was dead all the time. You talking about limping all the time. I limp now. I was 100 pounds heavier, okay? Well, now 80 pounds because I done gave 30 of them back. Hello? I had lost 110. At one time, I was down 110 from my height. My point in all this life has been given to us as a gift. Let's reclaim our energy. Stop slaving away at these jobs. And if you think, oh my gosh, what will happen to all my bills? I got so much credit card debt, you're never going to pay it off working a job. Never, ever, ever. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Take a breath. Right? Cash out that 401k, baby. Now is the time. You don't need 2 acres. Go get you one. Me and Kevin, we was outside going, 2 acres is huge. People don't know how big that is. They be talking about, I need 10, 5, 25 acres. I be looking at them like, you can't even live on that. You can literally live on 1 acre. They sell trailers and you get a half an acre, and that's plenty to grow your food on and everything. Trust me, it's a lot. So that's it. That's all I want to tell you is I'm preparing for the Passover. I will be doing the Passover on April 1st and then right into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Shout out to Truth Unlimited. I'm not Truth Unlimited, have mercy. Truth Unedited. He's given a beautiful list of the feast days, what to do. I'm gathering my leaven so that I can take it over my friend's home. Yeah. And I need to, it's about to be 11 o'clock. But I had late coffee this evening. I went to sewing class, so I was super excited. And I'm preparing for the Sabbath. I've got the Sabbath coming up, of course. And I need to make some hummus. I need to make some hummus. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to get off the phone with you all. We've been on for almost an hour. Please hit the like button, okay? Even if you watch me on the replay. Know that I love you very much. Yeah, it's been hard sometimes for me to go live because one, I've been working. Two, the thing where I get in my head and I'm like, nobody cares about what I have to say, and so I just keep it to myself, I just be going on, but I can't do that. I can't hide my light under a bushel, and I know that. And I am going to do the Easter one and how that is very, very not good, and how it ties into idol worship. It really does. And you are actually celebrating Satan when you do that. It's a ritual for Satan. So, and I'm going to show you proof. And then you can make your own decision, but you won't be able to say that nobody told you. So even if 10 people see the video or 150, I will do my best to let my 10, 5, or 150 people know what I know, and then they can research it themselves and know that it is a fertility holiday. That's why they've got rabbits and eggs, which ain't got nothing to do with the resurrection of the Messiah. It's Passover that you should be celebrating, not something called Easter, which is in honor of Esther, okay? Which is a pagan deity. I love you very much. Be well in your heart and in your life. I pray for you all the time, as I do for this entire world. And these are amazing times we're in. I believe that we are part of a chosen generation to witness the things that we are witnessing, and we should stay encouraged. Do your best to separate yourself from the propaganda and the mind control, though, that's going on. There's a lot of it. And if you're not using fluoride, I don't know why people would still be doing that. But if you don't know better, I've said this to people. It's been, 15 years since I knew about it, but you can't even see what I saw 15 years ago. I've Googled mind control and fluoride. You can't even get that same kind of information out of, I'm not sure, but probably on TikTok by now. I don't have TikTok, but I understand that's where the new info is flowing to. So Google fluoride and mind control, or TikTok it, or YouTube it. Find out what that is and why you ought not be using fluoride. Okay, I love you very much. Have a beautiful, magnificent April, right? We about to go into April. Yep. All right. I love you. Oh yeah. It calcifies your pineal gland, and it does a whole lot of other things too. It's a poison. All right. I love you all. Be well. Thank you for being with me for this whole hour.